DSE 2021, question number 27. In an exchange economy, there are two goods X and Y and two agents A and B. A owns 10 units of good Y and B owns 10 units of good X. So A owns 10 units of good Y and B owns 10 units of good X. Okay. A has lexicographic preference where good X comes before good Y. So X is lexicographically preferred over Y. This is how I write lexicographic preference. Okay, it's only my notation, it's not the world's notation. ठीक है, तो वर्ल्ड में ऐसे लिख कर दूसरे व्यक्ति को एक्सपेक्ट मत करिएगा that they exactly know कि what is XPY. XPY is only my notation of saying ki lexicographic preference of X over Y. B has Y lexicographically preferred over X. Okay, this is only Samkit Bhantia's notation. Okay, and not anyone else's. Right. Okay. Now, an allocation where A gets 10 units of good X and B gets 10 unit of good Y. 10, 0 and 0, 10. An allocation where 10, 5 and 0, 5. Okay. Now, the statements are saying that this is Pareto optimal, this is Pareto optimal. Okay. So which of the statements is correct and which statement is incorrect? Also, I will expect you to tell me, whoever is answering, I will expect you to tell me what is a example of a Pareto inefficient allocation in this example. Okay, so I'll ask you to give more examples of Pareto efficiency and Pareto inefficiency when it comes to this particular problem. Okay, so do it and tell me what are you getting, what is the answer, A, B, C or D. तो यहाँ पर 10, 0, 0, 10, 10, 5 and 0, 5. Which one is Pareto efficient? Pareto efficiency as a concept is no one can be made better off without making someone else worse off. Pareto inefficiency is an allocation where someone can be made better off without making the other person worse off, or both individuals can be made better off by some changes in allocation between the two individuals. That is a Pareto inefficient allocation. Okay, now I'll want some of you to tell me what is a Pareto inefficient allocation in this particular question. Aditi, can you unmute and answer? Aditi, you're not audible yet. I can't hear you, Aditi. Okay. Abhishek, you can unmute and answer.
Sir, the first allocation 10, 0 and 0, 10 is Pareto optimal because suppose the utility, if we want to increase the utility of Y or increase the utility of Y, so
Correct.
we have to give him extra X.
Correct.
Because it has all the Y. So if we are going to give him extra X, the utility of X will decrease.
Utility of A will decrease. Correct.
Yeah, okay. Utility of A will decrease, and thus it is Pareto efficient. And for the option B, it's Pareto inefficient. It's Pareto inefficient because so I feel the second option is also Pareto efficient because 10, 5, if we want to increase the utility of Y, we can give him extra Y from the X that were there, but that will reduce the utility of X because like it has all the X, but it has also Y.
Correct. So basically, if I reduce the Y for person A and give that Y to person B, the utility of B is increasing, but the utility of A is decreasing, right?
Yes, sir.
And
Sir.
also vice versa. So if I give person A more Y from B, so B's utility will fall and A's utility will increase. So 10,0 and this 10,5 both are Pareto efficient. That is the answer. Very good. Both are Pareto efficient. So the ones who have said correct. So the ones who have said that one is only Pareto efficient, two is not Pareto efficient, please give me an example of making the second one to be a Pareto inefficient allocation. You'll have to give me an example, right? कि ये inefficient है, तो कौन सा allocation is efficient? And वो inefficient क्यों है? Okay, so you will not be able to find it. The answer is 10,0, 0,10 and 10,505 are both Pareto efficient allocations, and that is what we'll put as the answer. Statement 1 and 2 are both true. Now what I'm looking at from someone is to give me an example of a Pareto inefficient allocation. Someone new. Manya, can you answer? Can you give me an example of a Pareto inefficient allocation in this? Manya, are you there?
Sir, I think if we take 1 unit of Y from B and give it to A,
No,
then
you have to
that
give me an allocation. So give me a allocation, this much X, this much Y, this much X, this much Y for person A and for person B. And this allocation is a Pareto inefficient one.
okay, so like 10, 0 and 0, 10 is a Pareto efficient outcome.
Okay.
If I convert it into something like 10, 1 for A and 0, 9 for B, then I think that would be Pareto inefficient.
Why is this Pareto inefficient? Can I increase the utility of one individual without reducing the utility of the other? Is this allocation inefficient? This might be better for person A, but
Yes.
better for an individual need not make it a Pareto inefficient allocation. Pareto inefficiency is an allocation where by making a few changes in that allocation, at least one person can be made better off. Manya.
So I didn't understand why isn't it inefficient?
This, why
Yes.
is this inefficient? How can I increase the utility of one individual without making the other person worse off? 10,1, 0,9. If I convert it into 10,0, 0,10, I am making A worse off when I am making B better off, right? So how is this inefficient? The concept of efficiency and inefficiency, is that absolutely clear, Manya? If that is not clear, then you will not be able to answer such questions. Inefficiency basically means I can increase the utility of one individual without making the other individual worse off. But I am having to make individual A worse off, right? If I go from a 0,9 to a 0,10, individual B is better off, but individual A is worse off if I go from a 10,1 to 10,0, right?
Yes,
Or
sir.
can you give me some other example which will make this a Pareto inefficient allocation? In order to make an allocation Pareto inefficient, you will have to give me another allocation where both individuals are better off in comparison to this allocation, right? That is the meaning of a Pareto inefficient allocation. Getting
Then
it?
maybe, yes, then maybe something like A gets 5,5 and B also gets 5,5.
And okay, so if I call this inefficient, what will I call efficient? If I call this inefficient, what will I call efficient?
Efficient would be the bundles given in the question are efficient only, 10,0 and 0,10.
Okay, so if I go from 5555 to this, will I make both the individuals better off? Yes?
Yes, yes,
Good. You are making them better off because 5,5 is inferior to a 10,0 for the first individual who lexicographically prefers x to y. And a 0,10 is actually better for the second individual because y lexicographically preferred over x. So 0,10 is actually better than a 5,5. Okay.
yes.
In fact, a 6,4 and a 4,6 will also make both the individuals better off than 5,5. Right? 10,0 तो दूर की बात है. 6, 4 and 4, 6 will itself make both the individuals better off from a 5,5. तो 5,5 तो inefficient है ही. Right? In fact, उतना दूर हमें जाने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. 0,10 and a 10,0 is itself inefficient. The endowments that we have is itself inefficient because a 0,10 and a 10,0 is inferior to a 10,0 and a 0,10. Both individuals are better off in this case vis-a-vis this case, right? So Pareto inefficiency as a concept has to be absolutely clear. ये clear होगा तभी आगे में general equilibrium में problems नहीं आएंगे. Okay?